down.
Like, oh, hey, you guys, you can't be up that late on the boat. I'm trying to sleep and stuff like that. Glenn's not that guy. And like, he makes the show work to me.
Yep.
So I usually pick Gary or Daisy for this, but I'm picking Glenn this week. John, who's you have?
No. So I had School Nights winning.
Yeah. Okay.
So here's the thing. Sean, we watched the show, and yes, I know this show's different than most Bravo shows because it's actually like watching people like while they work, right?
Right.
Like this is them. This is a portion of their life while they work. And you and I watch it, and we've seen iterations of Below Deck where it's like if it's a school night, they're just laying low, not really doing anything, and then we just get like the next day. Here, school nights have a different meaning. If this is what I want from future Below Deck franchises. This is what I want from Below Deck Med, Below Deck Legacy. I want to see when a captain says school nights, I want to see this. Now, Sean, as you mentioned, we run into the issue of Captain Sandy and Captain Lee not really letting them get through that, but we got to push the envelope here on school nights because honestly, the first 20 minutes of the episode was the best part.
Oh yeah, can't have wasted moments.
Yeah,
on this show. Like I think it's been a fantastic season. Like that's the part of it. Like there's no wasted off nights ever.
Yep.
And on unfortunately, the past couple of seasons of Below Deck Legacy or Med, there have been some wasted nights.
Yeah, and I think it's been tough. Kind of. I think like Legacy. I know you love Eddie, but like in the last like season, I felt like he tried to be more like captain material than like maybe like great for the show for entertaining purposes. And so, I know it sounds like we're going to get some fresh blood next time. So, maybe somebody likes to party a little bit more, but also can do their job. We need both, they can't be crappy at their job, but also need to kind of let loose and, let them have the good time.
I'm okay with that opinion. I'm a big Eddie guy, but I think Eddie's next move should be captain somewhere.
Yeah. Not
like part of the crew.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right. So who'd you have losing the episode then?
That slapping game, which they played.
The Hurricane?
Yeah. It's called a Hurricane. You're right. I wrote slap shot. I know it's the Hurricane.
Yeah.
I don't want to play it. It's fun to watch the TV. I love when Gary spit back in Daisy's face after she slapped him. Yeah. Like that was really funny, but I don't know. Just not something I don't want to be slapped in the face.
Yeah, but I also feel so. I agree. I don't want to be slapped in the face, but I also feel like it's like an upper as a game. You know what I mean? Like it is like bringing vibes up, right? So like, when you and I go for drinks or something like that, it's like, we're hanging out, we're having a good time. This is about having like a freaking rager, right? And so I think that kind of like gets the blood going a little bit, gets everybody involved. Because sometimes even just a hot tub's not enough. So they had to add this in. But I get it. I'm not all about it. I don't like getting slapped. I try to go through my life not getting slapped.
Yeah.
To play a game that actually slaps me, I'm out.
Yeah, what's an anchor man, the news anchor fight? What the rule? No touching of the hair and face, and that's the only rule.
Moneymaker. Yeah,
that's how I live my life. No touching of the hair or face. But yeah, it was fun to watch. But I just don't want to play that game. John, did you have a loser? It was kind of tough this episode.
I don't even know what to say, man. I really didn't have that much of a loser for the episode. Like, I tried to find somebody. I guess if I had to pick somebody, and this is just really just a cop out, like. Was Barnaby there? Like he had some good screen time in previous episodes. I feel like in this one, he was maybe cut to, I bet he had 1 minute or less of screen time.
Yeah.
And so like, he's not losing the episode because he did anything wrong, but he didn't have anything. And for a guy that had some in previous episodes, just step back.
I feel like him and Ashley were kind of hanging out a little bit, but like it's not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like they were like kind of playing with each other a little bit. That sounds really weird the way that came out. No, I feel like they were like he seems like a fun time, but like, there's not much there with him though.
Yeah. No. So, I don't think he really deserved to lose the episode, but if he had more screen time, it'd be better for him. So, So that's who I had. So Sean, let's get into the question of the week. What do we got?
All right, John. So obviously, one of the guests tonight was gluten free. Now, look, basically the question is, if you're inviting someone but you're pretend you're like a billionaire or something,
Yep.
and you're inviting all your friends onto like charter for a sailing yacht, and you have a friend that insists that all of the food be gluten free the entire time, or they won't go. Do you invite that friend?
So that's a good one. And what I think it's interesting because I think someone like that, like someone who obviously has either they have a disease, or, they're probably used to missing out on certain things because of that, right? They're like, hey guys, but I'm not going to go. It's not the best environment for me and my safe and my health, for my health and my safety, right? And so like I feel like they're used to getting excluded from things, so I feel like it's a little bit easier to do that. But I also bring it down to like, who's the person, right? If it's like my best buddy, and then I'm like, yeah, man, because having that person there is more beneficial than like the food I'm going to miss out on.
Right.
But if it's like a fringe guy, like let's just say it's not even like a uh, a a wedding party guy. He barely made the list. I'm probably Xing him.
Yeah.
And it's tough to do, and it's tough to say. And obviously, like a lot of things aren't people's fault, right? And I'm not saying it's anybody's fault, but like it is tough to work under those things sometimes. And so, not trying to be a monster, I'm just trying to like figure out who would make the list of them being there is more beneficial than maybe dropping it a bit on food, or just saying I could take it or leave it on that person coming. So then I'm probably going to take maybe the more tasty food over it.
Yeah. Some food just tastes better with flour or wheat in it.
Yeah.
Like, especially like sauces and stuff. They usually put like flour in it. Like you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, John, one of my very good friends is gluten free. Like he has celiacs. He tells me he still listens to the show. We'll find out. But been out to dinner with him several times. Like, not once did he demand that everyone order this like the same gluten-free meal or go to like a gluten-free restaurant if those exist.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy for a chef to just like take a few things out of a dish and have and give someone a gluten-free option.
Yeah.
I just thought it was a weird move for these guests to have every meal be gluten-free the entire time.
So obviously so I think the difference in this specific situation is that that kitchen probably isn't certified to like, because it's not just gluten free, it's like it's celiac. So like
Right.
I think there's like there's probably like different levels and different thresholds of what's tolerable. And then also, if this is if this it's the primary, I think that is she has celiac disease. She doesn't want to go through the whole vacation worrying about, was this separated properly? You know what I mean? So like that's why I feel like she did it. Like you're working, you don't even know what the kitchen looks like, you don't know what the chef's done historically, so she kind of went the safe route there. But it's it's a little different than like a professional kitchen where you can kind of separate those things.
I gotta tell you, man, though, I work in a lot of kitchens. It's the same as what Marcus is dealing with.
Yeah.
It's I look, I don't know. There's a lot of flour in kitchens all the time. Like it's I don't know. There's no restaurant or very few where it's like a completely separate 100% safe environment. You might get a little bit in there. I don't know. I don't know. Just demanding that everyone be gluten free the entire charter. I mean, she's a primary though, so she's allowed. But
right, exactly. So it's a tough one though. But you know what? I've never been in that situation. I feel like the only time I've eaten there is a restaurant up here in Colorado, like Watercourse. And it is like gluten free, and like the stuff's pretty good. I mean, honestly, they have a good beer happy hour, so I'll go over there and have drinks, and then whatever I eat. But I've had gluten free. It's if you're good at it and used to it, you can get pretty close to as good as regular food, but not everybody's good at it. So like you can go to some restaurants where people aren't like, they don't specialize in it, or they're not good at like making dishes without gluten, and sometimes it just stinks.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're like, if I'm invited, I'm gonna deal with it.
Exactly.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm
Yeah.
like whatever. Like I'm sure like Marcus like did a solid job and everything. And yeah, like you can, like rice is gluten free. Like most proteins are, just if they're not like breaded or anything. Yeah, like you can make it work and stuff. You can do like corn tacos.
Yep.
Those don't have gluten in it. Yeah, you can make it work, but I don't know. I think the whole like the kitchen example, I think in some big cities or like San Francisco, Denver, New York City, there probably are like totally gluten-free kitchens.
Yeah.
For most of the country though, that's not a thing. And
yeah, no, it's tough. So luckily for you and I, we don't have to work under those restrictions, you know. So
I know. What knock on wood. Well, actually it wouldn't happen later in life, but like yeah, we're blessed with that
yeah.
we don't have any allergies. Yeah.
So well, we'll see if, as long as Marcos keeps doing what he's doing. I know if the cake looks like it's pretty much done, so we'll see what happens there.
That's the worst part about the gluten-free thing is the desserts.
Yeah,
they're never as good.
Yeah, I mean you can only fake it till you make it so much.
Ice cream's gluten-free though. You can.
Oh, all right.
You could have just for their wedding cake. You guys, I did an ice cream cake, guys.
Yeah, that's fine. Caravelle, right?
Yeah.
So Sean, hey, let's get into our iTunes review here. So something we started on the last week's episode. So we're going to be reading the iTunes reviews. So Sean and I look at every single one of these. So we really appreciate when you guys leave a review.
Well, we should do a bad one sometime too. Just
yeah. Well, we've got a couple of them. Thankfully we've got a lot more good ones, so we really do appreciate the people doing this. So
our bad ones are more from the old platform. Maybe we could read one of those sometime.
Yeah. So our listener Ben Keegan wrote in. He goes, what a show, guys. I love the show. I saw the first few episodes of the season 1 Below Deck and knew it was great. I don't watch much TV, so I haven't seen much between. Then I discovered your show through some Toga connections. So Sean and I are both from Saratoga.
Shout out.
Yeah. Instead of watching the first episodes of Sailing Yacht, I listened to your guys' show. You painted the picture. The cast was amazing. Without knowing Daisy and Gary and the rest. Hearing without seeing, it was awesome. I picked up and watched the 3rd episode and loved discovering the characters you described. Also, I worked at a Polo and they use sabers for champagne. So Sean, last week we talked about, I used the saber for champagne one time. So Ben, thanks for writing that in. We really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll keep kind of painting the picture for everybody here. And if I do have champagne anytime soon, I'll just ask who's got a saber around.
It's just, what are the odds? Like anyone?
Saber.
If you're at like a polo field again, maybe. We should bring that back. I like weird extra stuff like that. Like old rich people used to do.
Yeah, old timies. So all right, Sean, time for the close here. Getting a little anxious here with there only being one more episode of Sailing Yacht to go. But hey, let's take it in for all we've got. We've got another 60 minutes with our friends, Daisy and Gary and everybody else, and then on to the reunion, and then maybe a much needed week off for 4th of July.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you very much for listening, everyone. Thank you for the reviews. Bon voyage.